on, everybody? So I wanted to take some time today to talk about what my upcoming goals are for, I don't know, maybe this next 3 to 6 months, as far as my training, my nutrition, my supplementation, everything like that. So I guess the first thing I'll say is that lately I've kind of realized that I have a long way to go with my physique as far as what my goals are. Basically, over the next 3 to 6 months, I really want to put on as much mass and strength as I can. So I will sacrifice some of the aesthetics. It's hard to say how my body fat percentage is going to be sitting throughout this period. It'll depend on how lean I can stay while I'm bulking, but I'm giving more of a priority to putting on mass, and so the more of a priority you give to putting on muscle and strength, generally you're going to be a little higher in your caloric intake compared to if you were lean bulking. I'm willing to sacrifice my ego a little bit to put on a little bit of fat in the process of putting on all that muscle and strength. So if anyone saw the video of my workout with Josh, you see that he is just this massive hulking figure compared to me. He's got some really big arms, a big chest, just a muscular dude, and that's kind of like what I want to get to eventually. He has like 4 or 5 years more of training under his belt. He's 25, I want to say 24, 25, I don't really know. But so he's got 4 or 5 years on me for training, and he's put on a lot of size in that amount of time. But because of that, he's big enough that he can just focus on basically looking good, keeping a low body fat percentage. So right now he's cutting, and maybe I'll have him make a video talking a little more about it. So yeah, his goals are definitely a little bit different from mine, just because he's more focused on maintaining what he already has, looking good with what he already has. Whereas for me, of course I'm like happy with the way I look right now, but I don't see a point in just wanting to stay the same. I want to constantly improve myself, and part of that is going to be putting on as much muscle as I can for the next 3 to 6 months. So that's what I want to do, and everyone's got their different goals. You might be 150 pounds and you want to stay lean, that's fine. For me personally, I am about 193, 194, and I would like to, in the next 2 months, I'd like to be up to about 202, 203. So we'll see how that goes. I can usually put on weight pretty fast. I feel like I can bulk up really fast as far as putting on muscle, but I also put on fat really easily. So I have to be really careful about that. And there are a lot of things that I'm going to be doing with my nutrition to make sure that my insulin sensitivity is high. That way I will at least keep myself as lean as possible while bulking. At this moment, I don't really ever plan on competing in like a men's physique or anything like that. Right now, I just don't have the time for something like that. Between everything from getting BioFit Labs ready for the market with Josh to just trying to focus on my schoolwork and all my classes. So there's just not a lot of time left over that I could plan on actually giving it my all into competing for men's physique. But I will say that in the springtime, I'm planning on prepping for some sort of a mock show, I guess you could call it. Basically, I'm just going to prep as if I was going to compete, but not actually compete, just to see how low I can get my body fat percentage, and also just to see how my body responds to certain methods and strategies of fat loss, and just understanding the way that my body works better, because everybody works differently. A lot of similarities, but when you throw genetics into the equation, there's a ton of variation that can happen. So just understanding my own body is really important to me. So as far as my training goals go, I really want to bring up my delts more, my traps, my chest, lats, pretty much everything, especially my legs. My legs have always been so lagging. I never really gave them very much attention until recently, and I'm seeing some growth, but it's got a long way to go. So gonna be hitting a lot of legs. As far as my calves go, I've basically given up hope on thinking they're ever going to have any shape to them. I'm still gonna train them as any other body part though, because it's obviously key to a well-rounded physique, and I still want to make sure to be covering all my bases. So even though I have accepted the sad truth that my calves will never look good, I'm still gonna try. So oh well. As far as the training goes, what I'm gonna do starting off is, it can change. I mean, I'm probably going to change things up every 4 weeks or so, but starting out, I'm going to be using daily undulating periodization. So basically what this means is I'll be training 6 days a week, and I'll go heavy push day, light pull day, heavy legs day. I'll take a break, or I'll take a rest day that next day, and then I'll go light push day, heavy pull day, and light legs. And on the light days, that doesn't mean that I'm doing light weights. It just means that I'm training in the 8 to 12 rep range rather than like a 1 to 8 rep range. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be hitting shoulders and traps probably 3 to maybe 4 days a week. A lot of cell swelling at the end of my workouts to make sure that I'm bringing out my shoulders and traps as much as I want to. I'll probably do the same thing with my calves. God forbid they ever grow. But yeah, so that's my training goal. That's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to be hitting a lot of compound movements too. And then on top of that, I want to make sure that I'm bringing up my bench, squat, and deadlift, of course, because that'll correspond to other lifts too. Like for example, if I increase my bench press, then that's probably going to increase my dumbbell bench. And so when I'm training in the 8 to 12 rep range, if I can train more weight, then that's going to increase the potential for growth. So that's what I want to do. As far as, I guess, a quantitative goal, I've always wanted to squat 405, and it's really sad that I've been training this long and still can't. And if you haven't gotten to that goal yet, if that's your goal, I don't want to offend you by saying that it's sad. I just mean for me, I've been training long enough and I've been diligent enough that I would have thought I'd be able to squat 405 by this point, but I've never really had strong legs, and so they're definitely coming along. I'm right around 365, I would say, is my max right now, and hopefully in the next few months I would like to hit 405. As far as my bench goes, I want to hit 315 at some point in this next 2-3 months. And my deadlift, it's hard to say right now because I screwed up my back about half a year ago deadlifting, and at that point I was up to about a 475 max, and my goal was 500, so I was getting really close to that. But then on a set of 405 for I think 8, I screwed up my back really bad. I didn't go in to the doctor or anything like that. I pretty much just rehabbed it myself, but it still bothered me up until I would say less than a month ago, and it finally feels good again, so I'm back into deadlifting, but it's been pretty ugly so far. So my form isn't the greatest. I can definitely feel a lack of mobility that was a result of the injury, but it's slowly coming back to me, and I still want to get to that 500 pound mark before the end of the year. So that's my plan. As far as my nutrition goes, I want to give intuitive eating a shot. So what this is intuitive eating is basically you don't track any of the food you eat, but you're still conscious about what you're eating. You're still eating clean foods, you're still getting your protein in, still very diligent about your nutrition, but you're not tracking anything. I'm not going to be making sure that I hit exactly 3,500 calories every single day. I'm going to try to get near that, but for me personally, in the recent months, I've been tracking really diligently, but then for some reason I end up just throwing it all out the window one day, where I would kind of drive myself to a point of insanity where I just wanted, I wanted a brownie so bad, and I knew it wouldn't fit my macros, but then I would eat one, and then I just threw everything out the window, and I would eat so much food. And that was kind of hard on me psychologically. So I want to give intuitive eating a shot. You can be very successful using intuitive eating. You can be very successful using if it fits your macros, or just, there's so many ways you can eat. You have to find what works best for you. And for me, tracking what I ate on MyFitnessPal every single day, that worked great for 3 years. And for me, tracking what I ate every single day, getting everything so exact where I'm basically within a few dozen calories of hitting every single macro mark, I had a lot of success with that, but I just want to give this a try, just to kind of see how well I actually know my body. I think this would be a good test, and this is kind of the perfect time to do it, because if I'm not super concerned about fat gain while I'm trying to put on all this mass, I think this would be a good time to experiment with my body and try to understand how well I can estimate, in my head as I'm eating, and just kind of eat as I go and see where that takes me. So that's my plan as far as the nutrition goes. We'll see what happens with that, and I'll give frequent updates to let you guys know how that's all going. So last thing I'll say is my supplements. I've been taking a lot of supplements lately, so just to give you a layout of my daily supplement schedule, in the mornings right now I take a green tea fat burner, which I probably won't keep taking once I really hit this bulk hard. But anyways, I've been taking a green tea fat burner, multivitamin, vitamin D, and then 3 grams of fish oil in the mornings, and that's just capsules, not the I couldn't drink fish oil. I'm going to start looking a little more into krill oil because it sounds like that might be even better than fish oils. And then before my workout, I'll take my BioFit Labs primer, and I usually won't take that with food or anything like that. I'll eat maybe an hour before. And then during my workout, I'll take 5 grams of BCAAs and about 50 grams of dextrose. And then after my workout, I will have another 50 grams of dextrose along with BCAAs. I'll wait half an hour to an hour, and then I'll take my whey with my creatine. That's what I found to work best for me. Of course, everybody responds differently, so you're gonna have to figure out what works best for you. And then at the end of the night, I take another 3 grams of fish oil, and which might turn into krill oil. And then I take magnesium and melatonin just to help me fall asleep faster. So that's what I do with my supplements, and overall this video is just, a brief summary of everything I'm doing. Of course, you'll see more specific things as I take you along with my workouts, and I'll talk more about my meal plan and stuff like that. But I figured I would just kind of lay out my goals and my plans and how I want to accomplish all of that. So if you guys have any questions about my goals or how I'm going to accomplish those, or you just have questions about how you can come up with your own goals, then feel free to email me or message me or comment. Do anything you want to get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to talk with you through this. So thanks for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate it, and please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It's excellent motivation for me to know that I'm making good content that you guys enjoy, teaching things that you guys want to learn about. Anyways, that's all I got. I'll talk to you guys later.